barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to join the Patreon. Shout out to the Boxing Voice. They did a hell of an interview with Mikey Garcia. Hell of an interview. My gift to you guys today is to go watch that interview. Mikey Garcia. I'm gonna do a couple videos on this as it relates to this interview. But one I want to talk about is Mikey Garcia talked about Terence Crawford's resume. He says his resume is a C+ resume. His greatest opponent was a 5'2", blown up 126 pounder. He doesn't credit any opponent moving forward after Gamboa, and it was pretty similar to the interview that I did. And I just want to be fair and clear, and it's going to ruffle a lot of feathers. Or at the end of the day, Terence Crawford, Bomac. I don't care what nobody's. You can be mad at Tank Davis. You can be mad at Mike Coppinger. You can even be mad at me. I just think that you have to be honest with your level of opposition. We're not discrediting, and Mikey Garcia said the same thing. We're not discrediting the talents and the skill set that he's displayed. No one is. But you're displaying it against JV opponents, right? C+ opponents as a whole. I'm putting them all together. I'm not calling one individual opponent. I'm talking about just them as a whole. Collectively, Mikey Garcia called them C+ opponents. And you're not going to get the respect. Keith Thurman said the same thing. Mikey Garcia said the same thing. Mike Coppinger said the same thing. And many media members have said the same thing about about Terence Crawford's opponent's level. We don't say this out of disdain or hate or disrespect of Terence Crawford. He also made the point that Terence Crawford has a boss, and his boss picks his opponents no matter what he says and what he do. And you're talking to a former top-ranked fighter, who sat out 2 years of his career, and now he's in search of the best opponent he can possibly find, and that opponent is Errol Spence. And I'm going to prove to you in interviews. I've known this fight was coming 4 months before anybody know. I'm gonna do an interview and I'm gonna drop tea leaves, and you guys will figure that out. And I tried to help Terence Crawford. Not help. He wasn't gonna get I believe he wasn't gonna get the fight, but he had to attach him. See, you got to attach yourself to this fight. Terence Crawford is not even attached to this fight, and both of them are foreseeable opponents. Terence Crawford has to find a way to attach himself to this fight and attach himself to the promotion of this fight. Similar to, no matter what we say, Anthony Joshua was attached to Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's he has to do a better job at conducting himself in terms of promoting himself. Terence Crawford will only get the respect is if his resume resembles it. And I'm not saying this out of hate. You guys know how I feel about the profile of black athletes. I'm 100% in favor of black athletes, but I got to give nothing but respect to Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia, I'm going to do a separate interview on this, because I think every time I mention Mikey Garcia's name between now and March 16th, I must be very, very clear that I am a huge fan of Mikey Garcia. And you can go back to my interviews that I did with him in July. He convinced me. He convinced me that he's not a punk. He convinced me that he's not a clout chaser. He convinced me that he wants all the smoke possible. Okay? Understand what I'm saying. Now, August 1st, the negotiations of Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence started. As soon as he ended that fight, if not before. All right? And I think it's just important that Terence Crawford understands the big picture in boxing. See, they just think linear, and how I can prove that they think linear, every time things don't go their way, they curse him out. Bomac curses somebody out. He says Errol Spence lives paycheck to paycheck. He curses out Michael Coppinger. Now what's he gonna say about Mikey Garcia? Because this interview is gonna go, not my interview, but the comments is gonna go viral in terms of people doing interviews and people doing videos, people writing articles saying that Terence Crawford has basically fought C+ opponents, and that is a fact. He hasn't fought Manny Pacquiao. Terence Crawford, a level of discontent must be inside of Terence Crawford and Bomac, because Bob Arum didn't pay Manny Pacquiao to fight Terence Crawford. I have it on video. Bob Arum tells me to my face when Manny Pacquiao was fighting Jesse Vargas, right, in Vegas. He says, Terence Crawford is next. And I have that in an interview. And he never paid Manny Pacquiao the money to fight in that transition fight. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, there has to be a power of the mind. Terence Crawford needs to have a meeting in his living room with his beautiful family, his wife, the mother of his kids. Oh, happy birthday to her as well. I believe today is her birthday, or yesterday was her birthday. And so they got to have a power of the minds. Bomac needs to be there, and they need to be more diligent. You can't curse everybody out that disagrees with you. You got to manipulate, use, and massage the situation. It's like I have a lot of haters in boxing. I use them. Listen, I'm cut from a different cloth at 41. You know, at 28, 29, you can get me to respond. You know, but at 41, I'm cut from a different cloth. You understand? So, people can say what they want. The best fighter, I thought, before his injury was was Keith Thurman at 147. All right? And I can sit back. What am I doing? But the best fighter at 135 is Mikey Garcia. A year ago. And they're saying the same thing, and they have, and they're more credible than any of us can ever be, because they have zeros, and he's gone through Danny Garcia and Sean Porter, and Mikey Garcia has fought 4 straight undefeated world champions. You know, so we have to give these men credit. You know, Terence Crawford hasn't done it. People are going to get mad and say, I'm talking about his talent level. No, I'm talking about his management level. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's a difference. You know, it's like I gave the example of Mitch Richmond. You understand what I gave that example? Dominique Wilkins, you can score as many points as you want, but you play for the Atlanta Hawks. You understand? James Harden, you can average 40 points a game for the month of January, but you play for the Houston Rockets. You understand what I'm coming from? Patrick Ewing, my favorite team. You can play for, you can be second or third in MVP voting for 10 years straight, but you play for the New York Knicks. There's a guy in Chicago that won't let you win. He didn't let you win in college when you were in Georgetown. He's not going to let you win in the pros when you're with the Knicks. Okay? And these are just facts, you know? In order to be the best, you have to beat the best. Michael Jordan held it down for a decade. Kobe, Shaq, and Tim Duncan held the NBA down for a decade. You got to beat the best. I use basketball analogies because you guys know basketball is my first love. You know, you got to beat the best. You can dance, you can swim around sharks, but for so long, they going to eat you and or devour you. You understand? Whether it's through fear or whether they actually eat you up. You understand? So at the end of the day, I say this to Team Crawford. Stop cursing people out and doing that. See, that's
drive north on South Allen Avenue for 2.2 miles.
That's nigga shit. I mean, you understand? Get mad at everyone who disagrees with you. I'm going to tell you, Terence Crawford, every media member that interviews you, because they're media, knows you have fought C-plus level fighters. If a media member tells you fought an A-level opposition, they're lying to you. You understand? And at the end of the day, we have to find a way to live in truth. Okay? And I agree with Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia, if he wins this fight against Earl Spence, he's the GOAT. Why? Mikey Garcia chased down Earl Spence. He chased him down. I can tell you how the negotiations went down. You know, I understand how negotiations went down. So, I've always given Mikey Garcia credit. And I think we need to understand who Mikey Garcia is. I had a great understanding of who Mikey Garcia is to this day when I covered the Robert Easter fight. I've never been that intimate with Mikey Garcia. He's a monster. He has supreme confidence. And the funny thing about it is, damn, that son. The funny thing about it is, if he loses to Errol Spence, guess what he's going to be? A monster. So I think Terence Crawford's team needs to come down to reality. And I'm one of the few people that have the courage to tell him this. Not from a disrespectful manner, but from a realistic perspective. We're not challenging his I'll say this one last time. We're not challenging his skill set. We're challenging his management skill set. We're challenging his management to put him in the ring with A-level opponents. You know, after April 20th, everyone will be available. After March 16th, every welterweight in the world will be available with the exception of Errol Spence. You got to pay the people to make the fight. It's really, really simple. And Terence Crawford, if your management team does not want to pay these fighters to get in the ring and shortchange them, people are going to always call you Dominique Wilkins. You're going to the Hall of Fame, but you never won a world championship. You never fought the best. All right, and that will be a tough pill to swallow, and no one's going to tell you this. But until you can get in the ring with a Sean Porter's A-level, Danny Garcia's A-level, Keith Thurman's A-level, Errol Spence's A-level, and Mikey Garcia, if he goes to decision or goes 10 strong rounds where it's competitive, he loses 6 rounds to 4, 7 rounds to 5, he's A-level. You got to fight one of these guys. All right, and these fights can happen. All right. But you got to pay. Your management team got to pay. You're the ace high, right? You have to pay to get these guys in the ring. You want to be in control of negotiations, you got to pay. And it comes down to management. It doesn't come down to what you can do in the ring. It comes down to management, right? It comes down to your ability to get the deal done. All right? It comes like when I'm buying a piece of property and I know that the agent is representing that dude, I'll give the nigga 5. Well, I'm not gonna talk about that. Anyways, that's not right. So, you know, I'll tell him thank you in a special kind of way. You understand? I tell him thank you with capital in all caps. You understand? So at the end of the day, the goal is to win. The goal is to get these guys in the ring and win these fights. And I'm not mad at Terence Crawford. I'll probably get cursed out. His sister will probably get mad at me for this video. Bomac will probably get mad at me for this video, and he'll probably call somebody and disagree with me. But I stand firm on what I believe. Terence Crawford has A+ level talent, and the world will never ever know until he gets in the ring with an A+ level opponent. We only can speculate. We only can assume. Okay, we only can suggest that he has A-level talent. We knew Floyd Mayweather had A-level talent. They said Diego Corrales was going to destroy him. They said Miguel Cotto was going to go to work on him. He's bigger. He's stronger. They said De La Hoya was going to beat him. Bigger, stronger. You know, so at the end of the day, Terence Crawford, you need to have a power of the minds in your living room in Omaha, Nebraska. Get the people that you love and support. And no yes and no men. All right? And stop cursing media members out. I mean, it's getting asinine now. You curse Tank Davis out. You curse Mike Coppinger out. You're probably going to curse me out for doing this. But it's pointless. It has no merit. Matter of fact, it has minimum value to you and what you want to do. So, at the end of the day, salute to Mikey Garcia. He's a real one. Everyone, I would say, I'm going to be safe. 8 out of 10 media members are questioning Terence Crawford's portfolio, resume, in private or in public. We're not questioning his talent. There's a huge difference. Barbershop Conversations. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.